What's up, guys? Barry Game here, back with some more Idle Heroes, and yes, we've had a lot of information coming your way this morning with different things with the Soul Temple, Auction House, the altar changes, Dominator, and Vortex. There's a lot of things to go over here this week, but of course, we can't forget we have a brand new hero, Freya, coming out this next week in a Heroic Scroll event. So we got her skill card. We can take a look what she has in store. She's got some shielding abilities, which might be kind of crazy when she becomes a Transcendence Hero in combination with Vesa. We'll have to see. Let's jump right into it, see what she's all about. Let's get going. Okay, so we have this beautiful plant creature. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Did we get what class she was? She is a Forest Ranger. I got it right. So because she's Flora's sister, she is going to be a ranger. I kind of thought she would be like a mage, but we just had Gloria, so I guess that makes sense. So yes, Freya, the ally of the Ancient Oath. She is a ranger from the Forest faction. Now, let's skip past her active ability like we do a lot of times. We want to make sure we understand the core of her skills before going to the active ability because it's pretty intensive. So Verdant Shelter is her passive. She's getting attack, HP, crit, and control immunity. Ugh, I hate whenever they release a hero that does not have built-in damage reduction because that makes a huge difference in survivability. Her second passive is Divine Sanction. Changes the basic attack of hers to deals damage to enemies with the highest attack and steals attack from them for rounds. So this makes it feel like she hits like 2 targets. I think Flora does that too, right? Flora hits 2 targets. So I'd imagine Divine Sanction is going to make her basic attack do 2 enemies that have the highest attack on the enemy side while stealing attack to them for a certain number of rounds. It would be interesting to know exactly what that is. Imagine if they made it like Illyria, where it's like a permanent attack steal. That would be kind of crazy if she could be useful in that type of manner, but we'll have to see. Her last passive here is called Ancient Oath, and it's a long one right here. So when Freya is basically being hit with a basic attack or takes damage from an active skill, that's interesting how they worded it, is under a basic attack or takes damage from an active skill. It's almost like if they go to basic attack her, it happens first. I don't know. It increases her all damage reduction for 1 round. So that's interesting. Whenever an ally releases their active skill, Freya has a chance to inflict Primitive Bud on all enemies that don't have Primitive Bud. So that is really interesting. That's going to be her skill effect here. When an ally launches a basic attack or releases an active skill to an enemy that has Primitive Bud, the ally will gain a shield equal to a certain percentage of damage that they deal and deal bonus damage with a chance to remove 1 attribute buff from the target hero. The hero with Primitive Bud deals damage to the target and reduces their crit for rounds when Primitive Bud disappears. The hero with Primitive Bud deals damage to the target. So if someone has Primitive Bud and attacks one of your allies, is going to deal damage to them, of course, and then reduces their crit chance when it disappears. So basically a way to get rid of incoming crit damage even more. Interesting. So it says down the bottom here, the skill effect, it disappears after a hero takes an active skill or base attack for a certain number of times. So it'll last a certain amount of time, does not stack, and then basically just same in the Primitive Bud, offsets the direct damage and damage over time received. It will disappear. Oh, this is for the shield. It will disappear when the shield strength is 0. The shield caps at 100% of the owner's HP. That's pretty much standard. We know that from all heroes that have shields so far. So let's go back up to Primitive Bloom, the active skill, and then we'll talk about what we think about this hero. Freya deals damage to random enemies and restores self HP, meanwhile inflicts Primitive Bud 1 on them. So random enemies and restores her own health. So Flora restores health on her basic, Freya restores health on her active. Okay, that's fine. It does give them that primitive bud, which is interesting. Whenever an ally launches a basic attack or releases their active skill with to an enemy that has primitive bud, the ally will gain a shield equal to a certain percentage of damage. Yeah, that's pretty much the same thing. So the active really isn't anything big here. The only difference is that it also heals versus the basic. Interesting. Well, then again, the basic attack deals damage to enemies with the high. I mean, honestly. So the basic steals attack against the highest attack enemies. The active heals and is a random target. Honestly, it might be a good hero because the basic sounds kind of strong. If it's hitting multiple targets and stealing attack based on what attack she is stealing, that could be very good. This could be really good for Sealand, guys. Like, really good. Stealing attack so that you're not taking as much damage. If you get maybe 2 of these on your team, honestly, maybe the new thing is like 2 of these guys or 2 of these girls, 2 pandas, and then like Vesa and like a Rogan or something. That could be pretty, or an Olivia. 2 of these, Olivia, Vesa, and 2 pandas. You'd be like the ultimate tankability team potentially. They can really synergize well with each other as well. Honestly, 2 Olivias might be cool too with one of her. I don't know. Should we build 2 of this hero this week and test it? Because the one thing I was waiting for it to do, to swap away from my Sword Flash homeowner, was to do Forest Sealand with our Fairy Queen Vesa, especially once we get her skin next week too. And then with this hero, this could be interesting because we're getting more shields. We're making it so that we have all damage reduction on her, on Freya. This could be interesting. More shielding is always good, plus the fact that you kind of just want her to get her basic attack off every round. I don't even care about her active skill, which is kind of refreshing for a hero to have something on their basic attack that seems a little stronger. We do also have a image file here. We got her kind of animation. I imagine this is going to be her animation you see on her home screen here. This, I think, is the 5-star version. So I imagine that will change. We do have all of her versions too. Hold on. Let me take a look. I think I got Freya. Let me grab these 3 hero copies here. I'm going to show them to you right now because I kind of forgot I had them. Let's throw them up on screen right now. So we have the 5-star version, which is pretty much what it looks like you see right here. Yeah, that's the 5-star version, which is really cute. It's cool. You got the 6-star version, which of course you get like the plant kind of growing on her head, the umbrella starting to kind of like open up, and then finally you also have the 10-star version, which looks absolutely insane. I love the look of this. The color combinations, I love the color combinations on this hero. Like, I love this like greenish color that we only see a few times with like the purple. That combination I think is like one of the coolest combinations in game. 6-star is kind of cool with the orangey colors, which is not bad. Pretty basic, but still very clean. I don't know. What do you guys think about this hero? I'm kind of excited, more or less, for Freya for Sealand. I feel like Sealand might be where she's the best, mainly because of the way her basic works. She's going to give shielding to allies. She can apply that that primitive bud just by your allies using active and basic skills too, which is interesting. So let me know what you guys think. She sounds pretty solid. I'm a big fan. I love the look of this hero. Hopefully you do too. We'll build her Thursday night, maybe here on YouTube. We'll have to see, and I'll see you guys next time.